Are you tired of prospective patients hitting you with, that's expensive, or I need to use my insurance when revealing your rates for your cash-based practice? I'm Dr. Bagge, and I'm going to share with you my first phone call process that's generated over $8 million for my practice and turns it's expensive, and I'm going to go in-network into, sounds good, how many visits do you recommend? Let's dive in. If you're in your first or second year of practice, you've probably been getting hit a lot with, it's expensive, or I'm going to go in network. And I know the feeling too. I experienced the same exact thing my first year in business, and it's gut wrenching. You know, you pour your heart and soul into your business and people don't see the value in what you're doing. And the good news is you have 100% control of that. Okay. So we're going to be talking about in this training, how to go from getting hit with, it's expensive, and I'm going to go in network into how many visits do you recommend? All right, so let's dive in. So scope of this is for all lead sources. This is for Facebook ads, Yelp, Google, word of mouth, friends and friends and family referrals. It is used for all types of patients. Okay, so first step with regards to doing the phone call when a prospective patient calls in or gets in contact with you is you really want to establish trust and relatability. People want to do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And so you really want to start speaking to people in actually a less professional tone and more of a friendly tone. Pretend that you're talking to your grandma or your long lost friend that you haven't seen for a long time, okay? It's going to help people open up, and you're going to be able to get better insight into what's truly motivating them, and they're going to open up to you more because they like you. And so if you don't do this at the beginning, it's going to be very difficult for people to open up to you, all right? So I always like asking people, like when I get a hold of them, hey, is this hey, Ben, this is Dr. So-and-so. I saw that you're interested in getting help with your knee. Most importantly, did I catch you at a good time? Awesome. So what I'm trying to do here is get a micro yes. It starts building momentum. So it's a psychology standpoint that if you can get more micro yeses at the beginning and throughout the phone call, when you go to ask for the sell, it makes it easier for them to say yes. Okay. So what I want to do is after they say yes, I want to start again building that rapport. Like if it's on Monday, like I ask them like, hey, how was your weekend? What fun did you get into over the weekend? Or what was the best part of your weekend? Or if it's like Thursday or Friday, like, hey, what are your fun plans that you have for this upcoming weekend, right? Also, it gives you a chance to show that you're human and discuss about what you're doing this weekend and like relate on some commonality of what they're doing this weekend. And so the first 1 to 2 minutes should just be building that rapport. All right. Second step is, this is one of the most important parts of the phone script, is setting expectations for the phone call. And this is usually if you're getting hit with, I just want to know if you take insurance or what the cost is. It's most likely because you are not setting expectations from the get-go and taking control over that phone call. All right. So what I do is like, hey, awesome. Sounds like you're having a fun weekend. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Before we dive in here, I want to kind of set expectations on what this phone call is about. And first and foremost, I want to ask and learn a bit more about what's going on to make sure that we can absolutely help you before getting scheduled. And I'll also take some time to explain how we do things here and make sure you feel like it's right for you as well. Does that all sound good? They say yes, awesome. And then now you can start diving into and asking them questions about what's going on, and making sure that you can absolutely help them, because that's what it's all about. All right. So number 3 is exploring their needs and goals. Really important here is to ask open-ended questions, such as like, what's been going on, or how long has this been a challenge for you, or tell me your story. This is my favorite one. After they say, yeah, that all sounds good, with regards to you asking them some questions like, awesome, just tell me your story. It sounds like, this is, tell me how this started, what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what your goals are, and just tell me your story overall, Ms. Smith, and we'll go from there. So I really like to tell me your story because it allows them to touch on what is most important to them. Like even if you ask like what injury you're dealing with, it's short, it's not really super open-ended. It's like, yeah, I got knee pain. Okay, now you have to lead the conversation more and ask way more questions. And this is where people struggle with sales at the beginning. So like, I just don't know what questions to ask on the fly. When you ask them for your story, it's going to decrease the likelihood that you're going to have to ask a whole lot of stories. They're just going to tell you your story. And what is not uncommon for people just go on a good 3 to 5 minute but 3 to 5 minute insight into what they've been dealing with. And instead of you having to ask 5 or 6 questions to get that same story, you are asking them, tell me your story at the beginning, and they are doing it for you. And so it decreases friction and helps it flow more naturally because you're not having to ask them and prompt them. They're just telling their story on. And again, that's super easy for them to tell their story because it's them. They're able to talk about themselves. So some people are going to be more open to like being very elaborative on what's going on. Some are going to be more reserved and you have to pull more out of them. And what you don't want to do is just take surface level answers. All right. You want to dive into how this actually impacts them. Like, yeah, I've got some knee pain. Okay. Well, what's this? How's it impacting you? Oh, it just hurts a little bit. Okay. Well, was this pain restricting you from being able to do? Well, I can't work out. Okay. Well, how often are you working out? 3 times a week. Okay. Why is working out important to you? Well, it's my way to, I've got a stressful job. It's how I relieve stress. Right now you can start, you see, I kind of have to dive deeper into and pull some of those things out. You need to make sure that you're getting into a deeper why than just helping them with knee pain or whatever pain they're dealing with, okay? And identify their why. Another question you can ask here is, if you had no pain, what's the first thing that you'd start doing again, right? Or start getting back to. So don't take surface level answers and dive deeper into things, right? Next is establishing the value of independence, differentiating your practice from traditional physical therapy. You can start, well, I'll give you guys my script on how we make our pitch, but you really want to start discussing eventually on like how you're different from other clinics and what your goal for your practice is, okay? Number 4 is going to be more specific to you, and I'll help you with the script and the pitch here in just a second. Number 5 is using stories for emotional connection. This is a big one. This is one that I didn't do for my first year, and this is probably the biggest thing that I made a change in my phone script in that first year that really made a big difference, is sharing a relatable patient case to illustrate how they achieved their goals with your support. So when it comes to healthcare market and world, there's no guarantees that somebody's going to get X result. And so when somebody doesn't move forward, it's usually because they're not confident that they're going to get X result. So you need to help bridge that and increase their confidence they're going to actually get the result that you guys are talking about and that you're promising. And so when you can tell a story and show somebody else like them that got the result and dealing with the same injury and got the same result that they're looking for, it goes a long way. So if I'm working with a runner, be like, hey, we just got done working with a runner about 3 weeks ago. They had been dealing with knee pain for about 6 months, and then up until that point, they hadn't ran for about the last 2 months. They came in within 3 sessions, they were back to running, not the 5 miles that they were aiming for, but they were back to running pain-free for a mile. And then from there, we continued to build, and by the 6th visit, they were back to running 10 miles a week without any pain. And now they're working with us on a performance basis, and we're helping them with strength training, making sure that no other injuries come back. So I'm also planting seeds of continuity and helping them more than just getting out of pain by telling the story, okay? Because that's the thing too, if you want to have continuity on the back end and sell continuity where it's more performance-based and helping people just get outside of just getting out of pain, telling a story can help with that as well. So here is the script that we use. You guys can use this and as you see fit, make it into your own practice to fit your own practice. I'm not gonna read word for word on this, but after I tell them, the story, I go into this, okay? So obviously, it's worked for this other person. I want to make sure that you feel like this is going to work for you. It's okay if I kind of share about how we do things within our practice so you can make sure that's the right fit for you. And then I go through this pitch. And if you guys want this script, just click the link below this video and we'll get that over to you. Okay. So after you make your pitch here about what you do is differently, like, hey, does that all sound good? Or does that sound like what you're looking for? Most times people are going to say yeah. And then if they say, I'm not really sure, like, what else do you feel like missing? And this is a great opportunity to make sure that you are as clear as possible before making your pitch, or not making your pitch, but revealing your costs or your pricing and the insurance aspect of things, because it's not what they're looking for anyways, right? So if you reveal your cost and insurance, it's going to be a no. So you want to make sure that you already outlined exactly what they're looking for before making that. All right. Another one too is after they have signed up, or once you're able to get them scheduled. Let's go down to 8. 8 should be here, and 7 should be down here. What I want to do is, okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and get you scheduled. Looks like we have, I apologize for limited availability. We usually fill about 2 or 3 weeks in advance. We do have 2 openings this week of X and Y. Do either of those work for you, or which one works best for you, Ms. Smith? So what I want to do is I want to lead with scheduling and not ask them. That's where I see most people get in trouble, is ask them, okay, awesome, what times work best for you? And then it's just a lot of back and forth, and it increases the friction. And so you want to be in control and offer the availabilities that you have. It also adds scarcity, which increases their perceived value and worth of you, because they think that you're booked up, right? Whether you're booked up or not, that's what people would see as value. Like, hey, if somebody's got a wait list, they're actually probably pretty good, right? And so we want to make it look, whether that's true or not, on that there is some scarcity and that you're in control of the scheduling. So offer the time slot that you have available. I give them 3 times, ask what works best for them. And then from there, after that, I go ahead and ask them, okay, awesome, you are all set. But most importantly, what questions do you have for me? This is important. This one word different makes a huge, huge difference. So I used to ask, do you have questions for me? And most people, even though they did have questions, be like, no, I'm all good to go. But I could tell that there were some questions they just weren't ready to ask or sure that they could ask. And so asking, giving them and changing that word to what questions you have for me, it allows them to see that, hey, this is a safe spot and a great place to ask questions, and that you are expecting questions. And this is where you are going to get more potential objections and concerns directly versus people scheduling and having questions, and then they text or email you, hey, thought about it more, I'm going to cancel my appointment and go in network. It's very difficult to win them back over text or email or once that's occurred. So you want to make sure that you address any potential objections or concerns here and reveal them as much as possible. Okay. And then you can listen intently and address each question and redirecting it to the outcome rather than the transaction. And then after that, some people don't have questions, some do. And then if they don't have any questions about cost or insurance, I do go over the cost insurance, like, hey, some patients like to know about cost insurance before they come in. This is our rate. This is how we do things. So that's how physical therapy works with that. And I just be quiet. I don't really ask them if that's okay with them or anything like that. I just state that's how we do it. And then I'd be quiet, and you're going to probably get some silence here, and that's okay. Let them just sit in it. They will either confirm whether or not that works for them or not. All right, and then you can address objections if there are some. And then if you get up on the call, all concerns have been addressed, they're scheduled, they're all good to go. Now you want to reinforce the commitment and congratulate them and be excited for them. A lot of times people, when they schedule this first appointment, this is something they've thought about doing for the last 3, 6 months, 12 months, sometimes even 2 or 3 years. Congratulate them for taking this first step and be excited for them. Be like, hey, congratulations, Ms. Smith, on taking this first step to getting back to running. Super excited to help with you. I help you with get back to X, Y, and Z, and looking forward to see you on X time, X date. So by doing this, it just reinforces that they're making the right decision to move forward and decrease the likelihood of them coming back and canceling or having cost or insurance objections around those things. So if you guys want the exact script and our methodology behind this, click the link below and we'll get that over to you. See you guys.